Hi, this is Gregory Walker, Global Creative Executive Director of the Brothers Network. We want to reach more people, and in doing that, we thought we would amplify our already vibrant newsletter subscription and through Substack, and we thought we would add a live podcast scenario to that. So here we are, the first Brothers Network podcast. I know, podcasts are old, I know. But you know who I am, Gregory T. Walker. You can find us at www.thebrothersnetwork.art. And I'm going to let our first guest introduce herself.
Hello, world. I am Ontaria Kim Wilson, director, actor, playwright, producer, and I'm a Philadelphia native, and I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. We share a common interest, we share a common goal, and that is informing and engaging and amplifying stories about Black people. And Ontaria is the newest, well, not the newest, but the most recent producer of a Philadelphia premiere. Tell us about that play.
So I am the director of the Great Privation.
I said producer. I'm sorry. I meant to say director.
That's because I'm that too, but yeah.
No, but that's true. But we, the Brothers Network, are the associate producer. That's getting my title confused. You are the director, which is more important, but go on.
I am the director of the Great Privation, How to Flip 10 Cents into a Dollar, written by Mia Akillen Robinson. Produced by Theater Exile.
Correct.
In South Philadelphia. And The Great Privation is a beautiful story that just uplifts the history of Black people here in America, medical disparities, the love and joy and relationships of mothers and daughters, and just the story about Black resilience here in America. So.
This is what we know. The resiliency is what we know that drives art and culture in many cases, and also the historical knowledge being brought to an audience that may not otherwise be aware of it. I think that the way you have directed this particular production, because it's been in Washington, D.C. before, it's also been in Boston, to very wide acclaim, which I'm sure will follow this production in Philadelphia, is very nuanced. This piece, I think, in my mind, and this is not to dissuade, but actually to encourage people to come see it, is very much about a Black man.
Absolutely. So the Black man that we talk about and we endear, his name is Moses. Moses is the patriarch of this family. And I was sharing with the cast that because we don't see him physically, we tend to forget that he actually exists, but it's because of his life, because of his work, because of his spirituality, it's because of his perseverance and his power and his wisdom and all those things that this story is being told. And so he has equipped both his wife and his daughter to go into a world that is not necessarily for them and by them, but he gives them enough wherewithal, enough power, enough grace to go forward even without him being present in their lives. And so,
but he is very present in their
lives.
Oh
yeah.
Right? He is the unseen central character.
Physical.
Correct.
The physical.
Correct.
Yeah.
We do see his body at some point in time, but the entire play is really centered around him and what his wishes are, and his dutiful daughter and lovely wife move forward. And what's highlighted in that is the relationship between the mother and daughter.
Yes.
Then and now. Yes. I don't want to give too much away, but the play moves through time in ways that you have to pay attention to, with some helpful prompts in the back by digital things, but which is very good. I didn't see those initially, and I was like, oh, okay, I see what's going on, but I've seen a lot of theater. And I thought that was a brilliant move to add that digital piece, and I'm not going to give it away, what it is to let the viewer know exactly what's happening. Mm-hmm. Tell me what you brought to this play as a Philadelphian that perhaps other directors did not.
I'm from Philadelphia. The play is based in the city of Philadelphia, in South Philadelphia, to be more specific.
That's right.
It takes place at the African Baptist Church, which is our now Mother Bethel AME Church, which was founded by Richard Allen.
That's right.
And so I'm a church baby, I'm a church girl. So, and Mother Bethel is the sister church to my church, Mount Zion United Methodist. So I have a connection, both being a native of Philadelphia, being, again, a church girl.
Yeah.
and just understanding like what it means to be from Philadelphia, like the grit and the push and the power, you know.
As we were talking earlier, I am not from Philadelphia. However, I love and appreciate the history and culture, and more importantly, the art in Philadelphia. And I think anyone and everyone from all across the country and the world would enjoy this story. It is a bit of a history lesson as well. There are some things that take place, it's a subtle history lesson, but an important one, about how the black body is treated and mistreated and degraded, and the criminal things that have happened to the black body in America since our arrival, early than 1600. But it is just a reminder of that, but also you can see the perseverance of individuals and families and culture. And this is an important story as we are on the 250th anniversary of this country. And it's something that, quite frankly, I'm ambivalent about celebrating, but I think this is celebratory to share this story of resilience.
Yes, and you mentioned this is the 250th year of us celebrating the American experiment. And Mother Bethel AME has been in existence for 200 years. And when we dive into the story, the idea that resurrectionists or grave diggers would go into burial grounds that were specifically for African Americans or Afrique people, to resurrect them and to take them and to do research on without the consent of family members and loved ones. That is the part that is disturbing. It's unsettling, it's unnerving. But the parallel story is that in 2026, we still face very similar experiences when dealing with black bodies and marginalized and those people whose families don't come to claim them, and just not knowing like what's going on, and knowing that there's some underground things that are going on too, and that's a whole different story to be discussed. But it causes you to raise a brow. It causes you to become more aware and to ask questions and just to dig into history.
No pun in the dig into history, Dig into history, because that's what we're doing. We're talking about bodies that have been buried, human bodies that have been buried, and how they, through their life and their death, they are a commodity.
Yes.
And this is a tragic thing. The very first play that the Brothers Network was involved in was called Resurrection. And we were talking a little bit before we came on, and that's the play, Resurrection. And this notion of resurrection, this notion of resilience has been consistent in our work to amplify these stories, and they're positive stories because it tells black people, it tells the world incredibly how incredible resilient we are, and yet we are still in some spaces and places still marginalized and not seen as full human beings. And I was a little bit tearful, there's a scene where there's a payment, and I just thought, in life and death, we are this commodity, and that's not true. We're really human beings that people have put into a position that we are just, of no value, but they will pay for our body, they will pay for our labor, they will pay for our bodies and pretend to own them. And that is just incredibly tragic. So I think this is very timely on the 250. I'm not sure if we've progressed any more than during those times. I'm not sure. This play brings up some things about COVID vaccines and or other vaccines that people may or may not have been afraid to take care of because there's a long history of degradation of the black body and using it for experimentation in science.
Yes.
And countless other stories that we know about, but this one is very central to where we are now. And we may have another vaccine that we may all have to take, and I hope that people will do what is right for them. And that's all I can say on that, but I do want to say there is legitimacy in some fear based on what this play talks about. And it's so brilliant, and I want to say that I make it perhaps sound doom and gloom, but it is uplifting, vibrant. Excuse me. It has a beat. It is rhythmic. It is really, really. It's 90 minutes. No intermission, and you are going up and down in your emotions.
It's a dramedy.
And you end up on the up.
Absolutely.
Right. You end up on the up. What else do you want to say, Ontario? We want to.
I think one of the takeaways I want people to walk away with is just understanding that throughout life, throughout trial and tribulation, we still find a pathway into humor and joy. It's through family, it's through friendship, and just understanding like we have no choice but to persevere.
Yes.
We've been through so much throughout the centuries, but we stand strong. We still stand strong today.
And I imagine the possibility of possibilities, if we didn't have to be resilient, where we would be as a society and a people, where the society at large would be.
Is that a question?
No, that's a statement. That's a
Okay.
statement. No, that's
Woo,
not a question. No, I wouldn't put
baby.
you on like that. I wouldn't put you on like that.
Listen.
But this is why people should come and see this play. The Brothers Network is the associate producer of this particular play. Below this video, you'll see an opportunity for discounted tickets, 50% off all tickets, all performances. And we will have some talkbacks as well from members of Mother Bethel and a couple other surprises that we will list right below this video. Thank you very much for being my guest
Thank
today.
you for having me.
It's my
been
pleasure.
such a pleasure.
Oh, it has been.
I want to come back. Can I come back?
Yes, you can come back. Actually, you can come back next week if you want. We have more to say. The play opens this week. It opens tomorrow night. I don't know what day this is going to air, but it opens this week, and the information below, you'll have all the information for tickets and access and location.
Yes.
Thank you very much for listening and watching. Thank you.
Thank you.